Hello everyone, it's Ty. Often while I'm perusing Reddit, I'll come across a comment that reminds me that there are a lot of things that I do regularly which I just take for granted that everyone else knows about as well. So today, I thought I'd try my hand at a list video with these 7 Star Rail things you may not know about. On the Xianzhou Luofu, there's a vendor in Cloudford that you'll want to visit regularly. Well, at least weekly. Directly across from the Trove of Verdure space anchor, you'll find Mao Jin, who offers to sell you a number of things the way vendors tend to do. The consumables can be used for, I don't know, stuff, I imagine? I'm sure people must actually use these consumables, or Hoyo wouldn't keep making them. But the most important thing that he sells are these unclaimed parcels. This one resets daily and has a random assortment of synthesis materials, consumables, and character ascension materials inside. Not the drops from stagnant shadows, just the stuff that drops from regular overworld enemies. The big one is the unclaimed valuable parcel. It only restocks weekly, after the Monday reset, and while it also contains a similar assortment of synthesis mats, consumables, and character ascension mats, it also has the possibility of dropping Light Cone XP, Relic XP, and even 4-star trace materials. That's right, the ones you get from Calyxes. It's only the version 1 mats, but if you still have version 1 characters or light cones to level, it's still definitely worth it to burn a few credits here every week for the chance of saving some stamina. Another great way to burn your credits is to do a little gaming in Penacony. In Ideen Park, in Golden Hour, you can use Ideen tokens on various slot machines or this giant gachapon to net yourself some pretty sweet rewards. Lots of consumables and synth materials, sure, but there's also the chance for Relic, Light Cone, and Character XP. And the big golden capsule machine here even has the chance of giving a copy of the 4-star Nihility Light Cone, It's Showtime. Yeah, you could buy that from the Light Cone manifest as well, but winning it in the gachapon is way more exciting. So, how do you get in on this fun? In addition to the tokens you get throughout Penacony for various tasks, each week you can buy them from either Dancy, this fellow having just the best time, or Dennis, this suspiciously familiar desk clerk in the real-world Reverie lobby. There are only 10 a week, but that's still a solid way to turn 5,000 credits into some useful mats. The last in our weekly rituals is making sure to pop into your room on Amphorius every week to poke this strange crystal and get yourself your weekly allotment of memory crystal shards. Sure, you also get a number of these shards by doing mini quests or randomly poking at shiny spots around Amphorius, but this is just a great way to speed up the collection process. You can spend these shards in the Genesis Speed Shop on the upper level of Okema for recipes, phonograph records, and a couple of mysterious gifts. The small one will give you a cute seal floaty in your room, while the large one gives you a random chimera who stands guard outside of your room, being just the most adorable little guy ever. There's even a second phase to the shop in the Fallen Twilight version of Okema that sells a different selection of records and things. After you buy all of those out, well, I'm not sure really. You can give them to garment makers to tell you where the nymphs are, but other than that, I just keep collecting them in case there's another new upgrade to the shop. If nothing else, it's comforting to know that I'll leave Amphorius with a huge pile of memories. A great way to spend your time without spending stamina is by doing Divergent or Simulated Universe. Yes, admittedly, some don't enjoy the gameplay involved there, so I guess this tip really isn't for them, but if you do enjoy it, you can farm it regularly for a nice chunk of Relic XP dust. As I recall, 100 boss drops is the upper limit per week, but that's really a ceiling I think you'd have to be actively trying to hit. You'll never even come close if you're just casually running for fun and dust a couple of times a night. It's nothing exorbitant, around 15 to 20 dust per run, but a run or two can be enough to level up a 3-line relic once to check its 4th line. And yeah, it'll probably still end up a useless fourth stat, but at least the dust was free. A particular sentiment I've seen a couple of times, and the reason I even thought of this video, is that getting dupes when you're already at max eidolons is a waste of a pull. On the contrary, that's actually the best position to be in. Anytime you pull a light cone or a character on the limited or standard banner, you receive a certain amount of undying starlight. This can be spent in the Starlight Exchange for certain 4-star characters, standard banner 5-star light cones, tracks of destiny, and, most importantly, Star Rail special passes. Limited banner pulls, and each pull costs only 20 undying starlight. So that means, since every 4-star character duplicate before E6 gives 8 starlight, you get a little over a third of a pull back. And getting that pesky dupe Clara or getting yourself an E1 Phynon actually gives you 40 starlight. 2 full pulls back. It becomes even better once you have a 4-star at E6. Pulling them again gives you 20 starlight. That's the entire pullback. And those who dread pulling their 8th, 12th, 40th copy of Himiko really needn't do so. You get 100 starlight, or 5 whole pulls, by pulling a max eidolon 5-star. You also get a Silver Companion Spirit, which is a step towards buying specific 5-stars from the Stellar Convergence shop, but that's beside the point. Light cones are similarly lucrative. Every 4-star light cone also gives 8 starlight, a third of a pull. So, every time you pull 3 4-star light cones, you'll have gotten a full pull back. That's pretty great. The big trick is how massive it is when it comes to standard banner pulls. If you pull a 4-star character you have at E6, that standard banner pull effectively becomes a limited banner pull, and every 3 duplicate light cones you pull on the standard banner adds up to 1 full limited banner pull. It's a pretty important part of the free-to-play pull economy that I think many may not even realize exists. Just don't go blowing your undying starlight willy-nilly. That 140 for a 4-star character may not seem like a lot, but that's 7 limited banner pulls you're spending. And that 600 starlight for a 5-star light cone might seem like a great deal, but that's 30 limited banner pulls. Something irreplaceable indeed. Speaking of secret pull economies, you'll always want to check your monthly shop pulls, as you've likely heard before. This is referring to the Embers Exchange, not to be confused with the Starlight Exchange, where you can spend undying embers, not to be confused with undying starlight, which looks almost exactly the bloody same. With these, you can buy a number of mats ranging from character, relic, or light cone experience to trace materials. The most important things to buy, however, are the monthly refreshing, discounted, limited, and standard banner pulls, and the tracks of destiny. It's not really a discount when they always cost the same amount, Hoyo, but sure, whatever. In all, that's only about 900 embers a month for the pulls, or 1020 embers for the pulls and the trace orbs, which is pretty easily attainable if you're doing any pulls of any kind. Every time you pull on any banner and get those junk 3-star light cones, you get 20 undying embers. So you can see how quickly that currency can accumulate. And as long as you keep from splurging on trace materials and the like, you should be able to maintain that monthly buffer indefinitely so that you always get those monthly pulls. Just whatever you do, do not spend them on the stuff that random enemies drop. It is such a huge waste. Or, I don't know, you can if you want, I guess. I'm not in charge of you, but I severely recommend against it. Finally, the number one most important and best thing you should be doing regularly that you may not be: Pom-Pom quests. Every few hours you'll find Pom-Pom in a new bit of bother in the parlor car of the Astral Express. Helping with this problem will reward you with a little something, sometimes character or light cone XP, synth materials, maybe some credits. But the greatest reward we get every time is the joy of having helped Pom-Pom. We do the Pom-Pom quests because we absolutely adore Pom-Pom. It's honestly hard for me to walk by and see him doing some fretting animation or other and not go help him. Happy Pom-Pom is best Pom-Pom, and the best way for happy Pom-Pom is to do the Pom-Pom quests. And that's my first list video. I know, I don't mean to pander to the algo, but I've not done one of these before, so maybe dipping a toe in will be okay? If nothing else, hopefully it was helpful to you in some way and not just a bunch of stuff you already knew. But in either case, thanks so much for watching. If you like this sort of thing, please feel free to like and subscribe, hit the bell to be notified when I post more things of this nature. Leave a comment down below if you can think of anything that you do regularly that I missed. Maybe I can do another video on that. But anywho, thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you all again next time. Bye!